Check to the mic. 1, 2. Check, check. Is anybody out there? Let me refresh this. Movies and metal. What's up, man? Spider Pool, Fusion Crunch. Will Smith. What's up, buddy? Nicola Buzet. Man, a lot of new faces that I do not recognize in the chat, which is really cool. Hey, isn't that Devon Graham? That's my favorite YouTube channel name. What's up, buddy? Jamie Honeycutt, how are you doing, brother? Blurry face, hello, hello. So this, let me refresh my page here real quick. Can you guys hear me, first of all? I'm hoping you guys can hear me. Yes, Kenny D. Daves, Brian Kane, Jason Voorhees. Big fan of your work, Jason Voorhees. Brent Broomberg, King CJ. Wow, what's up, everybody? Thank you for joining me. I kind of just got like a wild hair, just a spur of the moment thing. I hit 12,000 today, which was really cool. And so I just wanted to say hello. I wanted to see, I guess if you guys wanted to have any movie talk questions, any kind of questions in general, that's cool with me. Am I loud enough? Erica, how are you doing? Nice to see you. The Artisan, I wonder if an older Tommy Doyle will be in Halloween 2018, like in Halloween 6. I doubt it. I don't see that happening. Because they've posted all the new casting and whatnot, and I think if there was a Tommy Doyle, we'd know about it by now. So I don't think so. Jason Reese, you were at Chop Top. Yeah, man, that was awesome running into you. Chop Top's one of my favorite horror characters. But really cool running into you. Awesome. Austin, how are you doing? Green Arrow, Sean Collings, David Ferguson, greetings from Scotland Yard, dude, and congratulations on 12,000 subscribers. Thank you, really appreciate it. I have no agenda. I'm just here for you guys. That's all it is. I hope they bring back the nostalgia. I guess it was a little strategic that I put the Myers face as my backdrop, because I figured you guys might want to discuss some of that. Yesterday I put up a new Halloween update because when the news dropped of The Mask, I did just a little 1-minute blurb, and I didn't have enough time to do anything really, but I just wanted to get my quick thoughts out. And then it was eating at me all day, and then I saw that I had 15,000 views on that video, and then I felt worse. I was like, oh god, I feel like I'm gypping everybody. So I wanted to go back and actually give you guys a legit long update. So I gave you I think it was 11-minute update, which was really cool. And so I hope I covered a lot of ground. What's funny though is after that update, the next day we get news about a test screening, which you can't keep up with Halloween updates at this point. It's almost impossible. And CP's 935 just brought it up. Yes, I think if you're a Halloween fan, then you're gonna hear about those test screenings. The thing about test screenings, I say take it with a grain of salt. Because a lot of times these test screening audiences, like say in Halloween 6, they were 14-year-olds, not saying that that's the case with this situation, but I don't know, I think that it can be a good thing, because if everybody hates the ending, then maybe it's a good thing, and maybe they can go back and fix it. But, I tend to, most people hate Rob Zombie's Halloween 2, and I love it. So, I wonder if that movie that they saw is the movie that I would love. I would not be surprised if that were the case. So, but you know what? If it's better for the masses, then I say, yeah, go for it. That's awesome. I look like I'm in a fog in the window. Let me see. Maybe it's my, I'll clean my camera screen. I don't know. Ravenwin999, how are you doing? Nice to see you. Will Robinson, Anthony Hudak, Jamie Honeycutt again, John Cena. Yeah. Awesome. What do you think of the latest Chainsaw movie, Leatherface? I had just finished reviewing that franchise when that movie came out, and I became more of a fan after reviewing the franchise. There's some quality films in there, I think. So the latest one kind of didn't sit too well with me. I thought it was okay, but there were some things I didn't like about it. Crown the Empire, thank you so much. That was really nice. Awesome to see you live for the first time. Love all your videos. It's an honor to be part of the Patreon. Alex Ashton, thank you so much. That was really nice. I appreciate that. But to finish what I thought about the new Leatherface, I thought they had the right intentions because they were going for a really dark and serious Leatherface movie, which is always a good thing. But this was more of like a who is Leatherface type movie, And if you don't execute that properly, then it can turn out wrong. But I definitely didn't hate it. Like, there were some qualities I liked about it. I liked Steven Dorff. He was cool. But you know what? Leatherface himself as a character, I wasn't completely like right now, I'm struggling to think of how awesome that Leatherface was in that movie. And you want a gold Leatherface, like in the first Texas Chainsaw Massacre, that Leatherface was freaking awesome. So I think that's my biggest problem with it. How scary do you think the new Halloween 2018 movie will be? Well, from this article that I just saw, somebody, Daryl Haynes, actually sent this to me, and there was a person in that test screening that stated that it is very dark, it is very brutal, and that's what I usually like in a Halloween movie. I like a Halloween 6 type of Myers, and it seems like that's the Myers that we're getting in this movie. I don't want to give away any spoilers that I read, but I will just say that there are some scenes in that article that sound like bone-chilling to me. Like, I'm going to be jumping for joy if this article is true. So if you want to read it yourself, I'd say go look it up. Look up that article. Really interesting read. And this guy was a Halloween fanatic from what I read who posted all this stuff. So yeah. Who would you pick to play the new Freddy? I think that's a tough one. It's hard to top Robert Englund. I think I'd like to go. I'll go with what Cody said on this. I think I'd like to go with an unknown. I think I'd like to go with somebody that just, we don't know that face whatsoever. That might have been the problem with Jackie Earle Haley, as we were thinking, oh, there's Jackie Earle Haley. Whereas when the first one came out, it was Robert Englund, and at that time we didn't know who Robert Englund was. So I think that made Freddy feel more real. Have I seen Reanimator? No. I have not. That's one of those deep, dark cult classics that a lot of people recommend, and I'm sure I would love it if I've seen it. I actually have a laundry list of movies stacked up. I created like a document today because it's getting hard for me to keep up with how many movies I have to watch. I got Patreon requested reviews, at least like 6 of those on the slate. In between all those reviews, I also have like my new Hellraiser. I want to do that last Hellraiser movie. I'm so excited about finally closing off that franchise after a year. There's quite a few movies. In the Mouth of Madness. That's one I'm dying to do after seeing Prince of Darkness. Prince of Darkness was freaking amazing. So that really got me pumped for In the Mouth of Madness. So I guess in the chat, let me know if you've seen it In the Mouth of Madness. Did you like it? Let me know. Emmanuel James, have you seen Trick or Treat? Of course. I'm guessing you're talking about the 2009 version, not the 1986 version. Yeah. Trick or Treat is like, the anthology is such a classic. It's one that I watch every freaking year now. I want to review that one. I've reviewed the 1986 version, the heavy metal movie, which is mine and Cody Leach is like one of our favorite movies. Erica's been in a Mel Gibson mood, so I'm curious, what's your favorite Mel Gibson movie? Ooh, that's a good topic. I love Mel Gibson, actually. Not all of his movies, but Braveheart is one of my favorites by him. He always picks really interesting characters, or he creates interesting characters. The first Lethal Weapon, Martin Riggs, is one of the most interesting characters I've ever seen on screen, because at the beginning of the movie, he's going to kill himself. He literally puts a gun in his mouth at the beginning of the movie. His wife has died, and I don't know why I'm wearing headphones, because I don't hear anybody. So I'll keep them in, though. I don't care. But Mel Gibson, yeah. Fantastic actor, too. His acting in Signs was amazing. There's the scene where he goes out to the truck, and M. Night Shyamalan's sitting in the truck, and he's like talking to him, and he's like breaking down because he feels bad about, M. Night Shyamalan feels bad about killing his wife. And so Mel Gibson's got to face the guy that just killed his wife, and that scene is so well done. Signs is such a great movie. What do you think about the most recent rumors that Halloween will be a lot like Insidious or Sinister? Well, I mean, I like Insidious. I like Sinister. I'd rather it be like those than Scream, like H2O was. That was one of my biggest problems with Scream, is I didn't want Halloween copying Scream. So, yeah, it's getting hard to keep up with all these questions. These are great. So I love Insidious and Sinister, and the tone of those movies I think suits a Halloween movie perfect, actually. So yeah, I mean, you got a good script, you got some good directing, I'd welcome it. Horror Miser Monty G, what's up, man? Nice to see you. Synthesizer King says, since the recent success of the movie It, do you think that we are going to see a big resurgence of the horror genre? And do you ever think we'll get another Friday the 13th? Yes, I think It ignited the horror genre. I think we've had a lot of great horror movies come out since It. I think Halloween has the potential to be a huge hit. So yeah, I think the horror genre is in good hands right now. I think I think we're in the middle of like a horror resurgence, which is nice. And what was that last question that you just asked? Let me scroll back up and look at it real quick, because I don't want to not answer your full question. Friday the 13th. I just read an article today that Jason Blum from Blumhouse is interested in rebooting Friday the 13th, which does have me excited. Blumhouse is hit and miss, but you know what? Get that property in the hands of a studio that's actually wanting to put out movies, and I know they have a lot of legal issues in the background with Victor Miller and all that stuff. So there's a lot of issues with that franchise, and it's tough to say, like it might be a while before we see one, but I hope they can secure some kind of deal with Blumhouse or a viable studio and start pumping out some Friday movies again, because I know we would all welcome it. It would be awesome. Any idea what happened to the parents in Texas Chainsaw Massacre? Are you talking about the first Texas Chainsaw Massacre? I have no idea. I can't answer that question. I don't want to make something up. Tom Cruise, what's up, man? I know who that is. Paramount announced that they will never make another reboot or remake again and just focus on new material. Yeah, I read that too, actually. So that's kind of what I was getting at, was they need to get away from Paramount. I don't want to say that Paramount's not going to put out movies, but they're not going to put out any more Friday movies. I can tell you that. And he's joking with me. He says, have you ever seen a movie before? I've seen a couple. Just a few. That's it. Scare Scale says, your channel is growing. Good luck, because I'm sure you'll catch a big break. You know what? I'm working at it. It's been fun. It's been really fun. It's taken a lot of work, though. I mean, I think if you see the content, the amount of content that I've been putting out over this last year, I think if you put hard work into anything, then you can be successful. So that's the best way to put it without trying to toot my own horn, because I sure don't want to do that. But I'm trying my best to make this thing work. That's what I'm trying to do. I love movies. I think that's the biggest thing too. If you want to be like a movie YouTuber, loving movies sure does help. And, because if you don't, or if you're not passionate about anything that you're doing, then you're probably not going to succeed. And I'm strongly passionate about this. It's funny that my wife actually mentioned this today. Have you gotten sick of horror movies yet? She actually asked me that. And I said, hell no. I will never get sick of horror movies, because I love the genre so much. I really do. I'm always on the hunt for new and interesting horror movies. That's the reason why I got into giallo films over the last year. And it was like tapping into, this great treasure that I'd never seen before. So yeah, I'm loving horror, and I'm noticing that there's a lot more that I haven't seen, which Tom Cruise just pointed out. There is a lot of movies I haven't seen. I'll be the first to admit that, but I'm working on it. CP, favorite edible panties flavor. There's the question I've been waiting to get this whole time, and here it is, finally. And I'm going to go with, I'm a raspberry type of guy, actually. Jason Voorhees, do you watch or like Hush and his making, like Big Hush and his making mask? I don't know who Big Hush is. I don't have an answer. Thoughts on Infinity War? I haven't seen it yet. I'm seeing it Thursday night in IMAX, opening night, which is going to be cool. What horror prop from any movie would you like to own? Oh, wow. That's a tough one. Horror prop that I would love to own. I mean, I have a lot of cool horror props that, but I mean, one from the actual set. Owning the original Myers mask would be insane. Jason Hobbs, Raid 2, man, it's coming, okay? It is coming. I talked in the beginning of this about my freaking laundry list of reviews, but yeah, that is definitely coming. I promise you. My son's actually been like saying, hey, we need to watch Raid 2, and I'm looking forward to it. Raid 1 was fantastic. Had a blast with it. I was singing Jason Hobbs' praises to the sky, so I'm looking forward to Raid 2. I promise you, I'm not like ducking you. That is coming. Have you seen Fanboys? A long time ago, I remember seeing Fanboys, and I love the premise of that. You know, these kids going to see episode 1, Phantom Menace. So yeah, I don't remember if I liked the movie or not, though, because it's been so long since I've seen it. CP likes raspberry. That's cool. How do you feel about Ash vs. Evil Dead getting canceled? Yeah, I saw that today. I only watched like the first couple episodes. I still haven't gotten around to watching all of it yet. It does suck though, but you know, I guess it means not enough people were watching. That's the thing. I guess it's nice when you're Walking Dead and everybody hates you, but they're still watching, even though I know they're declining in viewership. So, but yeah, it's a shame because Ash is such a beloved character. But for some reason, when I watch Ash vs. Evil Dead, I still miss the young Ash. You know, the older Ash movies, I think, are just, I don't know, there's just something there that's not in the newer series. But like I said, I'm no authority because I haven't seen but maybe a couple episodes. So 103 watching now. That's freaking awesome, man. I appreciate it, guys. This is really, really cool. I love you too, Jason. Armando Perez, what's up, man? He says, hey, Lee, congratulations on 12,000. What is your favorite non-horror movie? Goodfellas is one of my favorite movies. Casino is one of my favorite movies. Shawshank Redemption. Gladiator. I love Gladiator. Control, which is about Ian Curtis from Joy Division. That is a fantastic film. I love non-horror, actually. I mean, I grew up a movie fan in general, not just horror. So I love all kinds of movies. Another one I love, actually, is the movie Crossroads with Ralph Macchio, not the one with Britney Spears that came out in like 86, and Jamie Gertz. That's one that I always loved growing up. Really good. Better Off Dead with John Cusack, one of my favorite comedies. Skin Deep with John Ritter, one of my favorite comedies. I love good comedies, and we haven't had that many great comedies that I've seen in the past few years for some reason. Like, we had there was like a period where there was just a constant influx of great comedies, and then all of a sudden it's just like the well ran dry or something. So, or maybe I haven't heard about some great comedies yet, but yeah, Steve Vai was freaking amazing in Crossroads, and I hear he played both parts too. Actually, he played Ralph Macchio's parts. Oh, thanks, CP. Let me. I got another donation here. I get to jabberjaw on. Tyler Larson, thank you so much, sir. Will you ever review the Wrong Turn series? Yes, I will. I actually bought the series last Christmas, I think, the whole series. And yeah, I plan on reviewing at least the first one. I want to give the first one another watch too, because last time I watched it, I didn't like it as much. CP knows about this. And yeah, so I'm looking forward to giving it another watch. Because sometimes it depends on your mood too. Like if you're in a weird mood when you watch a certain movie, you might not like it as much. So it happens. Matter of fact, Cody Leach was saying that he watched Friday the 13th Part 7 3 different times, and he had 3 different feelings about the movie. You know, if I'm quoting him right. So I think that does happen. And I'm famous for my second viewings, so why not? Yes, the Myers will be missing an eye. If you look on that poster that's on my backdrop right there, you'll see that, yeah, his eye is missing. Well, Hateful Eight, yeah, I love Hateful Eight. That's a really good one. Ravenwind. I love Samuel L. Jackson in that movie. That scene when he's talking about in the snow, wow, that was insane. Loved it. Original Chainsaw Massacre had very little blood in it. Yeah, it did. Even though it looks dirty, you know what I mean? It does look dirty, and I think that's how you get fooled that there is a lot of blood in it. Let's see. All right, let me scroll up just a bit because I'm missing a lot of questions here. If the Friday the 13th reboot wasn't canceled, would you have still watched and liked it? I think CP could answer this one. I'll watch a bad movie, Friday the 13th movie, any old day of the week. It's just, I love that franchise. So it could be, Jason X is a horrible, horrible movie, but I still would watch it probably once a week if I didn't have any other choice. They're just fun movies. So give me, just give me something simple. Give me Jason with a machete killing teenage girls. And you know what? How dare I ask for more? Okay. Let's see what else we got. Thank you, Blue Nines. I appreciate that. What else we got? Would you agree Stallone, Van Damme, and Arnold are the big three from 90s action films? Well, I don't think Van Damme is at the level that Stallone and Schwarzenegger were. I think Stallone and Schwarzenegger are the two. Like, they were above everybody else. And then everybody else, there's echelons below that. But having said that, I'm a big Van Damme fan. Bloodsport is one of my favorite 80s action movies. He had a string of fun ones. I don't want to say great ones. I'm just fun. His movies were fun. Hard Target was completely ridiculous, hilarious, and a blast. Yeah, Van Damme's... Death Warrant. Death Warrant is a really good one. There's one he did with Roseanne Arquette that I liked too. I think it's called No Way Out or something like that. Correct me in the chat. What would you want to see from a new Friday the 13th? I would like the return of Jarvis and finally ending Jason for good. I don't think I want Jason ended for good. I think I want, I'll take a new Friday movie every year if I can. He'll always come back anyway. I mean, how else can you kill the guy? He's had a freaking machete, half capitate him, I guess you could call it that. I mean, the guy's been blown up. I mean, just everything you can think about. There's nothing else you could do to him. He's been melted, even in Jason Takes Manhattan. So, I don't care how you kill him. He's coming back in another movie if it's up to any kind of filmmakers. So, what do you like Rob Zombie as a director and a rock star? Do you like Rob Zombie as a director and a rock star? Yeah, I mean, yeah, I love a few. I like half of Rob Zombie's movies. I like Rob Zombie's Halloween 2. I like Devil's Rejects. I like House of a Thousand Corpses. So there's some really fun characters there. I love his music. I actually saw him in concert a few years ago, and he puts on a damn good show. He has like this backdrop that's just loaded with like all these great horror icons, and it's so cool. It's really cool. He puts on a really good show, and he played like a Kiss cover. God of Thunder. He played God of Thunder, and that was awesome. Yes, Jason Voorhees, You Can Never Die. 3 from Hell, I'm looking forward to that. Because I love the first 2 of those movies. So yeah, give me a good one. I think they're the Firefly family. I'm not like a diehard fan of those movies enough to know the characters inside and out, but they're fun. They're really fun. So, any hope for Creed 2? Will Ivan Drago still have it? I think I saw something where they said that Stallone and Drago might fight or something like that in that movie. I'm finding a hard time believing that. But yeah, I mean, Creed was like tied with It Follows for my favorite movie in 2015. So, hell yeah, I'm looking forward to Creed 2. Rocky 4 is one of my favorites of the franchise. So, to see a return of the Drago clan, hell yeah, why not? So I'm hoping it's good. I know the director is kind of new to the scene. I don't have his name in front of me right now, but I kind of wish Stallone was directing it, or Ryan Coogler. But yeah, Infinity War, man, I'm looking forward to it. Do you watch Crypt TV? No, I don't think I've. Is that like a current channel? Because I don't think I've ever heard of that one. I've heard of Shudder, which is a good one. That's a good app. You should review the Friday the 13th TV series. I have a big issue with like TV series for like the big three. I'm glad they haven't done it with Halloween. Freddy's Dead. The Freddy Krueger franchise was pretty. I couldn't even make it through half an episode. And the Friday the 13th without Jason. You know, that's the thing about reviewing. You know, I get a lot of requests to do movies, and putting it as nice as I can. If I don't really have the desire to watch something, it's going to be hard for me to put my heart and soul into it. So that's the big thing for me. You know, I really want to be into the review, and sometimes timing's an issue too. Like this week, I might not be into reviewing The Descent, whereas like, you know, a month from now, I might really want to review The Descent. I've already reviewed The Descent, by the way. I'm just giving you an example. So yeah, a lot of it's timing. A lot of it's like, do I really want to see the movie? And that's why I'm not one of these reviewers that goes out and watches every movie every weekend and then puts out a review for said movie. I just don't do that. I'm not seeing Super Troopers 2 this weekend. I love the first Super Troopers. I just don't have that. I'm always in a really big horror mood, you know? So maybe that's what it is. I'm just not dying to see Super Troopers 2 right now. I will watch it eventually, and I'll probably have a great time with it. But plus, from review, comedies are hard to review because, I don't know, that's why you see very few comedy reviews on my channel. They're just like, that joke was really funny. You know, and I'm sure there's people that can do a great job reviewing comedies. I'm not one of those guys, you know? So, yeah, that's my thing with comedies, I guess. Have you seen The Hills Run Red yet? No, I have not. I think I've heard the name before. Is it on Netflix or something like that? Have you seen The Craft? Of course, The Craft is a classic. I love The Craft. Fairuza Balk is great in that. Let's see. I wish we could get more factory locations in horror movies. Yeah, Meat Factory. Yeah, I like meat factories in horror movies. Those are fun. Let me see. Who is the hottest final girl in your opinion? You know, I will say, Freddy vs. Jason, Monica Keena was really attractive looking. I remember when I watched that, I was like, wow, that's a nice looking final girl right there. So that's definitely one. There's a lot of great ones. Amy Steele was very easy on the eyes. So yeah. The girl from You're Next is nice to look at. So yeah, there that is. Let's see. Thoughts on... Oh, I already talked about Ash vs. Evil Dead. It's at the beginning of here, Gamer Guy Reviews. Art, what's up, man? Lee, we have to get a screening of Hereditary to you quick. Yes, man. I can't wait for that movie, actually. From, like, the taglines in the trailer, they're saying it's, like, one of the scariest movies to come along in a long time. And the trailer alone kind of freaked me out, especially the scene where the kid like bangs his head against the desk and then like falls back. Just that scene in the trailer freaked me out. So I'm thinking, wow, this movie's going to be, it's going to be awesome. And I think it's from the producers of The Witch, and The Witch is probably, as far as like last 5-10 years, scariest movies. I think The Witch and It Follows are the two ones that really jump out to me. So I think Hereditary is going to be really, really good. Yes, definitely. What is your favorite creature feature? Oh, man, I love good creature features. I liked The Descent. The Descent is like one of my favorite movies all the time. It is a creature feature, but I love it because of the characters in that movie, actually. One of my first creature features was King Kong from 1976 when I was a kid, and I've always loved that movie, warts and all. The score by John Barry is just beautiful. Kong looks completely ridiculous now if you watch it, but... I've always been like interested in that movie because there's very little out there as far as like behind the scenes go. Like I would love like a full-on documentary about King Kong from 76. I'd probably pay big money to get a Blu-ray that if it had like a brand new documentary on there. Brand Jordan, here's my question. How are you? I'm good, man. You know, I'm really good right now. It's things are going pretty well. I'm enjoying myself. And more importantly, how are you? So there you go. Alistair Sin, what's up, man? Green Arrow, there's another Diehard sequel that's coming out, but do you think it's a Diehard prequel sequel? But I think yes, I've heard that. I've heard that they're actually going to have young John McClane and they're going to have older John McClane, which I'm really excited by that idea, actually. I want a good Die Hard movie again. I really do. That's another one I didn't mention as far as non-horror goes. Die Hard is like one of my favorite. I'm an action junkie. I love Die Hard. I love First Blood. I love Predator. All those action movies. I'm like, me and my son, we watch action movies together all the time. And yeah, I'm like an action junkie. Lethal Weapon. Those are great. But as far as a new Die Hard movie, I'm craving a great Die Hard movie. Please give me that. The first Die Hard is so good. The third Die Hard is phenomenal. Sometimes I like the third Die Hard better than the first, and I know I'll probably lose like 50 of you just for saying that, but that's my opinion. I love the third Die Hard. With a vengeance, it really came back with a vengeance. It's great. I forget the name, but the movie written by Sylvester Stallone starring Jason Staunton, I think you're maybe saying Statham, was pretty good. I think I know what you're talking about. I can't remember. Is that the one with James Franco too? I think James Franco's in it. I don't remember that movie that much though. How about Paul Rudd as Ben Tramer in Halloween 2? That would be ironic. He'd be kind of old though. Well, I guess Ben Tramer would. This is set in 2018, so Ben Tramer died though. Well, I guess he didn't because that continuity's gone. So I don't know. I'm talking myself into a corner here. Would you like to see Predator versus Jason? Hell yeah, man. I'd check that out. It'd be a shitty movie, but you know, I like shitty movies too. Do you think we'll get another slasher franchise anytime soon? You know, that's kind of the thing that CP and I, you know, based Horror Needs a Hero on. Is it's just an interesting concept that we don't have another icon like we did Freddie, Michael, and Jason. And, you know, arguably Leatherface and Chucky. Chucky's still around. But to get a brand new franchise that's as viable as those 3 properties or 4 properties, I don't know what it is. It's weird. Like, we can't. Now, I think The Collector is a great one. Like, it's just those movies aren't as successful as like the big 3. That's the only issue. But as far as like icons go, I believe The Collector stands right up against the best of them. And I would love to get more movies with The Collector. I mean, that's just it's like really close to torture porn, but because that character is so interesting and so cool, and the movies are directed so well by Marcus Dunstan, that I love them. I love The Collector. So yeah, I think some people would agree with me on that one too. Do you think Pumpkinhead needs to be rebooted? I have never seen any of the Pumpkinhead movies. I have the VHS back there actually. So I'm looking forward to watching that eventually. Let's see, what else do we get? Oh my God, Gary Boyce. Guess what I'm actually editing right now? Phantasm. I just reviewed Phantasm. Me and Cody Leach are going to release 2 separate reviews for Phantasm at the same time, like we did with It, the original It. We're going to do that with Phantasm. It's going to be a lot of fun. He's a big fan of Phantasm. I've never seen Phantasm before. Hey, there you go. There's another movie I've never seen. So it's kind of cool because you can get 2 different. I'm losing words here. They're literally falling off of my face, out of my brain right now. But you get 2 different opinions from, you know, somebody who's never seen the movie before and somebody who loves it. You know, and I'm sure there's a word there that I'm looking for that I missed, but my brain, it's hard to keep up with everything that's going on in the chat. It's awesome. Okay, I was hoping you would be reviewing Phantasm. I just answered that, so there you go. Yeah, Cody's content is fantastic. Love Cody Leach. He's such a great friend. Yeah, me and Cody have been great friends now for probably a year, I think. I don't know. We just really hit it off with each other. And I think the interesting thing is we don't agree all the time, you know? I think there's certain genres of film that I like that he doesn't like and vice versa. I think he likes a movie to be directed a little bit different than I do. But we totally, like, dig each other's opinions and throwing the ball around and, you know, I guess picking each other's brains, and I think I prefer that. Like, CP's the same way. Like, me and CP disagree on a lot of movies. We really do. I don't know if he's still in there, but CP and I disagree on a lot of movies, and he gives me crap, and I give him crap. But I wouldn't have it any other way. Like, that's just the beauty of our friendship. I think, you know, like, I think it would be kind of boring too if we all like had these same exact feelings about everything. Let's see what else we got. Ethan Thomas says, Lee, I hate how movie studios are rebooting the best horror franchise because they can't make up their own stuff. Yeah, you know what? It's for me, I look at it like this. A good movie is a good movie, whether it's a reboot or not. I'm not going to turn down a great Halloween movie if it's a reboot. Or, you know, or insert here, whatever you want to insert instead of Halloween. So, I'm not going to lie to you and say that I'm not going to go watch that movie, and because I'm a fan. That's the biggest thing. I think the struggle there is to create something new and interesting. You don't have that built-in fan base. John Carpenter actually talked about this at a convention because they asked him, like, why do they keep remaking everything? And he says it's kind of a no-brainer because you have a built-in audience. You have a built-in fan base, and then you have their children are going to go watch that movie too. Then you're going to build a new audience, and then you're going to have an audience that already loves the franchise. So a lot of studios, that's half their marketing right there. So that's why they do it, you know. And if you try to create something brand new, it's a risk. It really is. Having said that, I love when they create new and interesting horror movies, and I think that might be part of the reason why the slasher genre just can't get off the ground, because it's hard to create a slasher icon. Whereas you can create supernatural movies, you can create not the TV series, but just in general, you can create demon possession movies. And I think the reason those movies still do well is because there's a wider net to grab upon, I guess. There's a lot of different ideas that you can take, whereas slashers are kind of straightforward, you know, give or take a little bit. So that's kind of my long answer to that. I would love to see some new properties, though, too. I get where you're coming from. Definitely. Johnny Boy says, me and Cody are like salt and pepper. You and him have awesome collabs. Yeah, we do. We have a lot of fun with each other. Have you watched Bates Motel? Adam Walters. Yeah, man, I love Bates Motel. That's one of those series, like, it's like Breaking Bad. When you start watching it, it's good. But it's like you almost want to give up on it. But they have just a little thread, little something there that keeps you going. And then, like, by season 3, they hook you and they never let go. That's Bates Motel. Bates Motel was fantastic. It got better and better with every season, and the last season was so good. So yeah, I love Bates Motel. I'm gonna pause for a sec and get a drink. My voice is going out. It's funny when I watch the delay, it makes me think of Scream and how they had the delay on the TV and the real time. How would you want to see the new Halloween movie end? The answer to that is I don't know. That's the big thing. I don't really know how I want it to end. Adrian Anderson, thank you for the $2. I appreciate that. And thanks for listening to my song. You got it, buddy. And now back to the question: how would I want it to end? I like a good surprise. Like the Halloween Returns ending was like, it gave me chill bumps. If you haven't read that script, it's a good script. It's not great. It's good. I love the ending though. And Marcus Dunstan wrote that, and he did The Collector. So the ending to that script was so great because you had I can't remember the guy's name, but the Dr. Loomis's like associate was in the hospital, and then Loomis wasn't in the script at all, and then Loomis's head comes out, out of the shadows, and he says you're talking about him as if he were a man, and he's not a man. He's pure evil. And then that was like the end of the movie. So I thought that was awesome. So I would love like an ending that would like just send chills down your spine. I mean, the ending to the first Halloween is great. It really is. I mean, Dr. Loomis walks out there. He looks. He's gone. And Loomis's face is like, yeah, I knew this shit was going to happen. That's what I'm dealing with. And the ending just sent chills down your spine, because in that last act, you were just completely out on the edge of your seat, scared to death of Michael Myers. And then when he's gone, it's like, oh God, there's no hope. So I kind of like the thought of an ending that, gives you like no hope, I guess. Like, we're screwed. That's the ending I want. I want the we're screwed ending. Do you think that they will kill Michael Myers off in the new Halloween? Well, I mean, according to those test screenings, it sounds like they don't. I don't know for sure if they do or not, like I said, but from what I'm reading, they wanted some kind of like finality to it, and it looks like they don't give them that. Like, it looks like it's an open ending, which I don't mind open endings. As long as they have enough meat and potatoes in there, I'm fine with an open ending. So, I'm curious to see what that test screening ending is. Vicky from Nightmare Maven, how are you doing? Nice to see you. Thank you very much. Guys, be sure to go over and check out Vicky's channel, Nightmare Maven. Great content. She loves doing deep cut horror movies. There's a lot of times I'm like scrolling my YouTube feed, and when I see Vicky's reviews, I'm like, oh, I've never heard of that movie. Those are the type of reviews I want to see. I want to see reviews for movies that I've never heard of. And she does a lot of those. So really, really great content. Underdog 1026, how are you doing? Says, what do you want from the 2018 score? Well, I really want that like pumpkin opening. That's one of the big things. That's like on my checkboxed wish list for a new Halloween movie. I'd love to see that pumpkin opening, where the camera like zooming in to the pumpkin slowly, and the music's just chilling as hell. And I know that's not answering your question as far as the music goes, but Carpenter is doing the music, which is awesome. And I'm curious to see what today's Carpenter does music-wise, because I haven't listened to like too much of his newer material, but the stuff he put out in the 70s and 80s is like so iconic. It's been copied a million times. So I'm really looking forward to seeing what Carpenter does with the music. Is he going to use a lot of recycled stuff? Of course the Halloween theme's going to be in there, but I'm wondering if he'll create like some new little pieces throughout too, which would be cool. So I have faith in Carpenter as far as the music goes. I mean, yeah, he's an icon. The end credits should be in orange. Okay, let's see what we got. You think this will be the last Halloween? If this movie makes as much as I think it's going to make, then no, I don't think it's going to be the last Halloween. They might want it to be the last Halloween at this moment in time, but I do think money talks, and sometimes, if it makes enough money, they'll find a way to bring it back. Will you review the Exorcist films? Yeah, I'm definitely going to review the first one. It's funny, like, I don't see that many reviews for The Exorcist like pop up from time to time on YouTube. I'm sure if I do it like an Exorcist review search, I'll pull up a lot. But, when I'm scrolling my feed and you see horror reviews for like everything under the sun, but I never have once seen a new review for The Exorcist pop up from anybody that's on my subscription list. And I think the reason for that is because it's I hate to use this word, but it's such a perfect horror movie. And it's hard to review perfect horror movies, I think, sometimes. Like, when I reviewed, The Crow, which is not straight up horror, but when I reviewed The Crow, because I had such a strong personal attachment to it, and I wanted to, I guess, quote unquote, get it right, it was a hard review to do. It really was. Whereas when I'm reviewing a movie that I'm new to, I don't know too much about, for some reason, those are easier to do. And the funnest to review are the ones that you get to rip apart. Those are a blast. With Blumhouse making the new Halloween, it'll make money. Their track record is great so far. Yeah, I mean, they did Truth or Dare. That was complete dog shit. And hey, I used a Jeremy Jahns term there. That was pure shit, and it made money. And they will probably do a sequel to Truth or Dare because it does have an interesting premise, and they made the movie for like I think $3 million or something like that, and so it made $15 million I think on its opening weekend, $20 million something like that. So yeah, I mean from a marketing standpoint, they know what they're doing. I mean that's why horror does sell because it's so cheap to make. Savage One, I have reviewed The Thing. I'm doing The Thing Revisited though because The Thing was one of my early reviews, and it's one of those that I want to go back and redo because it is one of those movies that's like one of my favorite movies ever. And when I don't go back and watch my reviews that often anyway, but I especially don't like to watch those very first ones because it's kind of painful to watch them. But I've checked out my review of The Thing before, and I said to myself, I want to do that again. So, yeah, I definitely want to do that one again. If somebody revived the Return of the Living Dead series, how would you go about doing it? Ooh, that's a tough one. I mean, you definitely want to make it a horror comedy, but it's almost impossible to capture that vibe that they had in the 80s. So I don't think you want to copy that. I think you want to pay respect to it, but I think kind of like what they did in The Babysitter. I think that is a movie that you can remake and have some fun with. The Babysitter is I think a good blueprint to follow. Not plot-wise, but just the tone of that movie I think would work well for Return of the Living Dead, actually. And I'd be curious. I'd be curious to see how they would do that one. And it's not one that I'd want them to copy. But it would be interesting to see a new tombstone dance scene, just to see how they handle that, and for other reasons. What do you think of Myers having a love interest, or having his own female stalker? Boy, it would take balls for them to even dare go down that route. Route. I don't see it happening. There's no way. I think that would be good for like the comic books. Because, in comic books, you get a little bit more leeway to try and do whatever you want to do. I mean, it's such a weird premise. I don't know. I'd be curious. I'd be curious to see it. I mean, because, hell, a lot of these movies, you get the same premise over and over anyway. You know what I mean? So, if they want to try something different, why not? I say go for it as long as it's good. Would you do a revisited on any of the Nightmare movies? Now, probably not. And let me explain that. I think because I started, in my mind anyway, I started hitting my stride as far as getting comfortable with my presentation, my editing, when I did the Nightmare series. The first one, I will definitely go back and revisit it because I did the first one well before I started doing 2 and on. But starting with 2 is when I really started hitting my stride as far as being comfortable with what I was doing. So I don't think I'll do any of them except for the first one. I definitely plan on revisiting the first one, though, for sure. Yeah, I definitely want to do that one. What are your thoughts on if Michael in the new movie was a copycat? Ooh, that would... I don't think I like that. That would piss off a lot of people. I don't know. My short answer for that is hell no. I'm looking forward to Mark Patton's Scream Queen documentary. Yeah. And if you watch like Never Sleep Again, that section of it I think is the most interesting. The part on Freddy's Revenge. I love Freddy's Revenge. It's one of those movies though, it's like a lot of people, it's like a love-hate movie, I guess, but it's one of those I watch the most, and there's a little bit of nostalgia there too because that's kind of the first Nightmare movie that I remember as a child. And it's one that I love so much. I think Mark Patton did such a great job in that one. It came down to the characters. I love the characters in that one so much. I like how Freddy's just constantly tormenting Jesse without even like laying a finger on him. That's the power of Freddy. He can do that. So I love the second one. What do you think about the Cube movie and its sequels? Jurak Peko. I've never seen the Cube. I've heard of it, but I've never seen it. So I'd be curious. Let's see what else we got. Thank you, Ethan Thomas. I appreciate that. I can't believe 106 people are. I've never ever once broke 100 on a stream before, so this is really cool. Any cool things coming up for you? I'm glad you asked, President CM. I did this list of reviews that I got coming up that I'm looking forward to. Deep Red is one that I'm looking forward to checking out and reviewing. Inferno by Dario Argento is another one that I'm looking forward to. I'm really into Argento films right now. Looking forward to doing the last Hellraiser to get that out of the way. And I know that I said that at the beginning of this. But the big announcement that I want to make, that I've already made in my recent Halloween update, is we're going to call it, here's the official title. I haven't said it yet, and I'll say it to you guys right now. The official title of it is going to be Hallowstream. Hallowstream. That's what it's going to be called. And it's going to be myself, Dave McCrae, and we watched a movie. How cool is that? And we're all going to be talking about Halloween, all the news that we've heard up to that date. We're going to be talking about the trailer, because we're going to do it after the trailer drops. We're going to be talking about the franchise itself. I'm going to be kind of interviewing them, asking them, their thoughts on the franchise as far as what got them into it. Because I'm always curious about other Halloween fanatics and what drew them to the franchise. So I'm looking forward to it. I'm really looking forward to it. It's going to be so cool to just sit in a group, chat with those guys, and, pick their brains. And, we're going to have the I bet we'll beat 100 watching. I really do. Because they have so many fans. Those guys have so many fans. They really do. Because they're great at what they do. And they're so different at what they do. So I think that's going to be an interesting conversation. It really is. It's going to be a lot of fun. And, it's just so cool to sit down with fellow Halloween fanatics. All four of us love this franchise so much. I can't tell you who loves it more. I can tell you that Dave McCrae is not a fan of the sequels, except for 1 and 2. Well, 1's not a sequel, but he loves 2, I think. But he's not a fan of the rest of the sequels. Whereas I think the We Watch the Movie guys and myself are all fans of a lot of the sequels. So, looking forward to that. That's going to be so freaking fun. We need a new killer, right? Let's see. Oh, there's Michael Myers again. I love how you you do your dots, and because I'm always wondering what's on your mind when you type that. I want to get to the bottom of you, Michael Myers. What is it about you that scared the living shit out of me when I was 15 years old? How did you do that, man? Let's see. Question and answer. Hey, Drumdums, are you going... You see what he did? He put it in all caps. If you want to ask me a question, put it in all caps. It makes it easier for me. Are you going to do a Drumdums Watches for Jason X? That's the first time I've ever even uttered those words or thought about doing a Drumdums Watches for Jason X. But, yeah, that could be a lot of fun, actually. Drumdums Watches are great for, bad movies, because then you can just kind of riff on them. So, yeah. The Shape versus The Thing for the Carpenter Championship title. Imagine The Thing getting on The Shape. That'd be... nothing's going to beat The Thing. You know what I mean? The Thing is just... It's too good. Because Myers, I don't think he'd be, intelligent enough to figure out how to take out The Thing. He's just a force. That's what he is. So those two, they just don't really mesh with each other. Hold on, my dog. I want to take another drink, and I want to put my dog on the bed. So hold on. Yeah, there you go, buddy. Yes, I do think Nick Castle will walk as The Shape in the new movie Tyler Davis. Because that photo shows, I believe that's Nick Castle in that photo that they showed where you can vaguely see Myers. I believe that's him walking. And to have Nick Castle come back, why would you not have him walk? He's famous for that. So of course, How do you feel about The Walking Dead season 8 finale? You know, I don't want to be that bandwagon guy that's I guess puts down The Walking Dead, but I just don't care anymore. That's my big thing about The Walking Dead. To me, it's kind of gotten repetitive. I don't know what it is, but I just don't get excited about the franchise anymore. I do like the character Negan. I will say that. I love what he does with that character. But even still, I don't know. I have a hard time. And I even paid for it again. Because I buy Walking Dead every year. I do the Amazon season pass. And I just in the hopes that it will get better. And, to some of you, it probably is getting better. But for me, I used to love that show. And now I just don't really get into it. Gary Boy's Terminator reviews. I've reviewed all 4 Terminators. I'm going to revisit those probably by next year. I'm definitely going to revisit the first one. Because I love... The first Terminator is one of my favorite movies of all time. It really is. I love the second one too. Who doesn't love the second one? But I just love the first Terminator is like a horror movie. It's like a sci-fi horror movie. So yeah, I love that one. Let's see. Yeah, a lot of people checked out of The Walking Dead a few seasons ago. They are losing ratings because it's just kind of getting repetitive. I think people just don't care anymore. To see, do you think there'll be a reference to Dr. Loomis in the new Halloween as an homage, at least mentioned? Sure, I definitely think that there'll be a mention of Loomis. I'm hoping that there's a Loomis style character, because I don't think we've ever had that since Loomis, since he died. We've never had a Loomis type of character. I mean, we had Loomis the character come back for Rob Zombie's Halloween, but we've never had somebody like that character, so I'd be curious if they did that. And I haven't seen any kind of casting news for that type of character, so I don't know. I don't think we're gonna get that in this one. Have you played Friday the 13th, the game yet? I'm glad you asked that because I do get a lot of questions about gaming, and the short answer to that is no. I'm not a gamer, and I think it's hard to keep up with the gaming community. It's a big world out there as far as gamers go. And once I joined the military back in the 90s, I didn't have time to play games at all. I was married, 2 kids, very little time to do any kind of gaming. So I've never had the desire to jump back on it. And now my time is really, really taken up with YouTube and my normal job and then my family. So it's not a world that I feel like I'm ready or wanting to jump into. So yeah, I don't think I'm gonna be playing any games anytime soon. And I know there's some gamers that have deep passion for it. I mean, they have great stories, all that stuff. I just don't have that passion for gaming. I don't, and I know most of you probably do, and that's awesome. But yeah, a big part of it's time too. I just have never had the time to be because some of those games can take all day, sometimes weeks to finish. And that would be a tough thing to pull off in my current situation. Do you think they'll ever remake Sleepaway Camp? I hope not. There's a few that I really don't want them to ever remake. That's one of them, just because how do you recapture that? You can't do it. Thank you, Jeff Floyd. I appreciate that. Very nice. I wish there was a way to see how long we were going, because I don't know how long we've been going right now. I should have looked at the time when I started. I will be watching Event Horizon tonight with my son, and I haven't seen that movie since it first came out. So I think in over 20 years I haven't seen Event Horizon, and I'm looking forward to it. So I'm going to be watching that tonight. 1 hour. Thank you very much, Gary Boyce. I appreciate that. That's about the time I wanted to go. So I'll answer a few more questions, and then I'm gonna cut it loose. Even though I don't want to, I'm having a blast with you guys actually. Phantasm Remake. I just watched and reviewed Phantasm. I'm editing that right now. I would definitely welcome a remake to Phantasm. Actually, I think there's some interesting things you could do with that today, especially with the technology we have today. That's a horror franchise that would work with like some great CGI. I know that's a dirty word to people, CGI, but David Fincher actually did like a Q&A, and he goes like into deep detail about when CGI works and when it doesn't, and every director should use it as a tool. And I urge you to look that up. It's David Fincher, and I think he talks about CGI. I think it's a Jurassic Park, when he gives his thoughts on Jurassic Park, and he talks about CGI. And you know, it's like a bandwagon thing. A lot of people like to say practical effects. I want practical effects for everything. And I don't necessarily believe that. I think I love practical effects. I'm a practical effects junkie, but I do like good CGI when I don't notice it. I think that's the important thing, you know. And if you watch a Fincher film, he does use CGI, but a lot of times it's hard to notice it because he uses it very sparingly and only when it suits the story. So I would definitely check that out. I don't even remember what the original question was, but I'm hoping there was an answer in there somewhere. What's happening with I Know What You Did Last Summer remake? I didn't even know they were doing a remake to that, and I don't think that's one that really needs a remake. Like Scream does not need a remake. So I don't think we should be remaking 90s movies at this point yet. Do other Italian like Fulci and Bava? Oh yeah, I did Bay of Blood, and I loved that movie. That was really good. I haven't done Fulci yet. Any Fulci movies like Zombie. I'm really picky with zombie movies though, so yeah. But I'm loving Italian horror right now. I really am. Would you watch a Texas Chainsaw movie if Rob Zombie made it? I'm surprised that Rob Zombie wasn't approached to do Texas Chainsaw Massacre because he fits that mold. You know, he's that type of director. And I think he'd be perfect for a Texas Chainsaw Massacre movie, actually. But again, his big problem, though, is with characters. So even if you're doing those type of movies, if you don't make good characters, it's not going to work. Like the first one did have some really interesting characters. The second one had really interesting characters. So, but his style does fit that, you know. Question and answer. Hey, will there ever be a new Friday the 13th movie? I talked about that earlier, about how Blumhouse is looking to gain control of the franchise and revitalize it. I'm for that. I want them to get away from Paramount because Paramount does not respect that franchise whatsoever. And yeah, it's annoying. I love Jason Voorhees. Thank you. I appreciate that, man. What if Rob Zombie remade Cars? I don't think I've ever. Oh, are you talking about the Pixar movie? Holy crap. I haven't watched, you know, being a father and watching so many animated movies when my kids were young, I just don't have the desire to watch any animated movies ever for the rest of my life because I watch so many of them. And I'm sure there's some great ones out there, but yeah, no, I can't. Okay, couple more questions. Oh my God, it's funny you asked that. Matthew Jeremy, have you ever watched Sorority Row? I'm literally watching that. I have this TV in my house that's like facing my kitchen. It's like a second TV. And I call that my like horror viewing TV. And I have a playlist on Amazon of like all these 80s, on Amazon Prime, of all these 80s slashers. And Sorority Row is on there, and that's one that I like watch while I'm cooking. So I watch it in like 10-minute increments, which is a horrible way to watch a horror movie. But that's one I've been watching right now, and I'm digging it. It's nothing. I mean, there's a lot of bad 80s slashers out there that are so repetitive. They all kind of like run into each other, but that's one that I'm watching. So yeah. And I saw that one too, like years and years ago, but I don't remember it that well. You know, it kind of reminds me of like Prom Night a little bit. Just in, you know, the tone of it, all the victims are just like you can't remember any of them. That's what made the first Halloween so great, was they didn't have like this huge body count. They focused on these few characters. Let's make you like these characters, and then let's kill these characters. And then I think the mistake that they made with all these other 80 horror slashers that came out after Halloween was Let's load it with all these characters that you don't even have a chance to get to know hardly, and let's kill them all. And so I think that's why Halloween works so well. All right, 2 more questions. That's all you got. 2 more questions. That's it. I'm done. You cut off. You got to go through me. That's Dave Chappelle. How did Myers learn to drive? Makes me think the shape isn't even Myers. Have you seen the first Halloween? Who's this? Finn Bluler. Hello, how you doing, Finn? In the first Halloween, when they're walking out, they said maybe somebody. Loomis said maybe someone around here gave him lessons. In that one line of dialogue, they explained that whole thing. See, that's a smart director and a smart writer. You take after you write a script, you write like a list of questions that everybody's going to try to pick apart, and then all you got to do is insert one little line of dialogue in that script, and it takes care of the whole problem. Your audience is always forgiving if you just answer the question. Answer the question, Claire. Breakfast Club. Yeah, just answer that one little dialogue solved that whole problem. And nobody ever cares how he learned to drive. If they're paying attention to that line. So. Okay. Oh, last question. Here we go. What did you think of The Fly? Okay. David Cronenberg's The Fly is the second greatest horror remake, I think, of all time. First being The Thing. Brundlefly is such an interesting character because Jeff Goldblum played him. Who doesn't love Jeff Goldblum? The guy is freaking amazing. And it had some of the greatest like creature effects in it. Cronenberg really has a way with dealing with violence that is different than other directors. And I just love his style. Like even his non-horror movies that have violence in them, it's really like the movie Eastern Promises is a great example. There's like a scene, like a fight scene in the shower. And that scene's even more creepy if you close your eyes and just listen to it, because all you hear is like these wet bodies slamming against each other. And it's pretty damn freaky. So I just put some weird shit in your head. You're welcome. Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna oh my god, are you kidding me, Lindsay? Lindsay comes in at the last freaking minute. Damn it. Yeah, I did not advertise this. This was just a spur-of-the-moment type thing. I thought, you know what? I got some time. I just hit 12,000 subscribers today. I'll come in and I'll say hello to everybody and I'll answer some questions. And that's what I did. And then I knew this was going to happen. I should have put a thing out there saying, hey, in 30 minutes, I'm going to do a Q&A. I didn't do that. That's my bad. So, Caleb Ellis, you got it, buddy. No problem. Erica, it was so cool having you in here. And next time I will make sure that I put out like another little warning. Okay, I'll give you guys like an hour warning. Hey, 12,000 subscriber Q&A, or I guess next time it would be a 13,000 subscriber Q&A. So don't do that, Lindsay. Put the cookie down. Put the cookie down. Jesus. Okay. All right, I'm going to go now. Everybody, I hope you guys all have a great freaking Sunday night. Quick, tell me what you're watching tonight before I go. Put in the comments right now. Put in the comments, what are you watching tonight? I'm watching Event Horizon. Okay? I'm watching Event Horizon. What are you watching? I need to see 5 answers before I go. Okay? Give me 5 answers. Explorer of the Wild, new subscriber. My name is Steve. Awesome videos. Just watched your mask update vid. Thanks, man. I appreciate that. Okay, Toy Story, basketball, is that basketball or basketball? I'm reading It, Halloween 4, Inside, Timeless, Child's Play, Saw 5, Halloween 2. That's a good one. I love reading what you guys are watching. That's awesome. Bloodsport, hell yeah. Are you watching Bloodsport because I mentioned it? Tell me you're doing that. Tell me you're doing that and I'll stay on for 2 minutes. Okay? Tell me you're doing that. 47 Meters Down. Did not like that movie at all. The ending was stupid. And I don't like Mandy Moore. Except for in the movie Saved. She's good in Saved, but she annoys the shit out of me outside of that. Because she talks like a Disney actress. And I don't like that. Halloween 3, Dressed to Kill. Matthew Jeremy. I'm glad you mentioned that. Okay. This is for Derek. God, you guys are gonna make me sad. This sucks. Derek, here is the Howling Blu-ray that you gave me. You are missed, brother. You are so missed. I still think about Derek every day, guys. I really do. He was such a good friend. Let me show you guys what he made for me too. God, I miss Derek. You know, he was just one of the nicest guys you could ever meet. And this is the wolf from The Howling. He made that for me. It's like out of paper mache or something like that. But, oh, God, I know I'm making you guys sad. I didn't want to make you sad before we leave this thing. Oh, God, I feel sad right now. This sucks. Okay. Derek, God, I love you, man. I miss you so much. And I do not want to cry before I get off this thing, okay? But I really miss him. I miss him so much. Yeah, if I have some videos, Jason Voorhees, if you just type in like Drumdums and Derek, they'll probably pull up. But he was just such a great friend. And I will say though that you find people made his life amazing. Like, I don't want to use that word amazing. His life sucked for the last couple months because he had cancer. He was having a really rough time with the cancer, and everybody in the Killer Flicks community, in the Club Voorhees, Deborah Voorhees called him on the phone to chat with him because Friday the 13th Part 5 was one of his favorite movies. The community was beautiful, and it just made me love our horror community more than anything in the world at the time, because we made his last days a little better. And I think the biggest thing is Derek knew that there were people out there that really, really cared about him. So, God, I miss you, Derek. You were such an amazing person. So, yeah. Anyway, I do not want to get sad. I'm gonna go now. I want to say goodbye to everybody. I hope you guys all have a good night. And you know what? I'm glad you brought up Derek, because at least it gave me another opportunity to mention him. So, anyway, I hope you guys have a good night. It's always hard saying goodbye, but you guys have an awesome, awesome